are in the Call to Adventure section, and we're answering a check-in question. What's your favorite product ever? And if I see interesting ones, I might call on you, so forewarning. Who is this? My TFO fishing rod and Daiwa mag seal reel? Oh man, I hope I didn't butcher that. We got a fisher in the audience?
Yep, that would be me.
Tell us about it. Why do you love it?
Oh, because, well, I love inshore fishing, living down here in Florida, and it's just a great setup. So it's a great rod, and great reel, and just caught a lot of great fish on it. So it's my passion.
Nice. Nice. I think last time I asked Jay this question, he said his new driver in golf, because he hits the ball further and faster, right? So it's like catch some great fish.
Straighter is the most important criteria there.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Sous vide machine. Ooh, one of my friends is obsessed with their sous vide. Whose is this?
That's me. That's a great product because it makes what seemed like a really complicated cooking thing super easy, and it's fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's the same reason my friend Carlos loves it. He said that like sous vide was this like sort of inaccessible method until they came out with like the home cooked sous vide, and all of a sudden like he sous vides everything, which is it's a cool thing. Awesome. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're going to get started at 12:05 Eastern. And for now, we're in this Call to Adventure section, answering a check-in question. What's your favorite product ever? Also, if you don't have one in front of you, grab a pen and paper, pencil and paper. Post-it works too, because in a little bit, we'll have you do some sketching, some very gentle sketching. Don't worry. So grab those if you don't have one in front of you, and something you can take a picture with and send it to your computer, like a phone.
Taylor, Kevin and you can start your own little circus. You can do the trapeze, and he can do juggling.
Kevin, we have a circus person here. Kevin, show yourself. Tell me about your Henry's juggling clubs.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how to get my camera going. My camera's been operating in and out, so unfortunately I can't get that started. But juggling clubs, got started doing that in middle school, but started juggling actual clubs in grad schools. So just something fun to do. Good, big stress relief. Kids enjoy it. So
totally.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I am an aerialist. I train trapeze, or at least I currently have tendonitis, so I'm grounded for a little while. But yeah, but in my circus gym, there are always people juggling in the background, and then and sometimes on those like rollabola balance things, that's just next level. I certainly can't do that. It's always very impressive.
Yeah, I'm not that coordinated.
Yeah. All right, we are at 12:05. I'm going to kick it over to Anna, our host from Miro, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Anna Savina. I'm a community manager here at Miro, and I'm focused specifically on Miroverse. Miroverse is our community template library. And today we're just really excited to host an event that is connected to one of our wonderful templates submitted by New Haircut. New Haircut is a product strategy firm that helps product leaders get clarity on their vision, experiment with real customers, and bring the real solutions to market. And I just really want us to have a lot of fun today and experiment with Miro. Please welcome Taylor and Jay, who will lead us through this exercise today. Taylor and Jay, please take it away from me.
Thank you, Anna. Great to be working with you. Great to be inside of Miro, having fun, and we're also using Butter. So maybe we should mute a few folks. If this is your first time in Butter, welcome. It is one of our new favorite toys that we've been experimenting with. We've done a lot more workshops and sprints and trainings and all sorts of good things inside of Butter. So if it's your first time here, you're probably not alone. And what we'd love to invite you to do is off on the left, there are a few additional things that you'll find that you wouldn't typically find in Zoom. One is one is the React board. So you can add different reactions as you're listening to things today. Also, if you have a question or a comment, there's the queue, which is great because then I get notified as the facilitator and the organizer that someone has a comment or a question. I can pass you the mic, which is really fun. But then there's also the chat, of course, the good old chat. And speaking of chat, if you have questions, if you get stuck with anything, if you're trying to come off mute or just anything about Miro, Anna is helping out, and she'll be able to jump in and hopefully get you going in the right direction. So welcome to Butter, welcome to Miro, and welcome to our event today. Okay, so one great thing about Butter, this will not be a presentation plugging Butter the whole time, but one thing I really appreciate is that they have an integration with Miro, as you saw when you came in, that allows us to be in the Butter session while also collaborating on a Miro board. Right now, I'm actually just sharing my screen, but we'll go back to doing some of the embedded stuff later on. For now, I want to kick us off by asking what this thing is. Now, caveat, if you've seen this before because you've been in one of our workshops or you've used our toolkits or something like that and you know what this is, keep quiet and don't spoil it for the rest of the group. If this is a new thing that you're looking at right now and you have no idea what it is, I'd love someone to come off mute and tell me what they think it is.
Baby sound machine, maybe, with a light.
Baby sound machine. Yes. Awesome. Okay. What else? What are the guesses?
Coffee mug.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's got an ergonomic design. Why wouldn't it be a coffee mug? All right, one more guess.
Looks like
Seems
a new
like it's
Alexa.
An Alexa?
Yeah, a new one.
Yeah, sure. It's got a Bluetooth speaker and a mood light. What if I told you that it was a salt shaker? Was that top of mind? Doesn't seem so. This is the Smalt. This is a smart salt dispenser. It has a dial. I don't know what that means. It has a mode button. Don't know what that means. It is ergonomic. Yes. Kind of looks like a salt shaker. Now that you start to look at it, you're like, oh yeah, okay. Kind of looks like a salt shaker. It also has a mood light for ambient mood lighting, as the commercial describes, and a Bluetooth speaker so that as you're frying up some salmon or whatever you're cooking, you could look at your Smalt and you could say, Smalt dispense a teaspoon of salt, and out comes the salt down here. I don't know what happens if it like flies onto the salmon somehow, or you have to be holding it while talking to it. I have made fun of this thing many times in the past because it is a product for a set of problems that are unclear. Because, as it turns out, the little glass jar with the metal thing on top that screws on and has holes in it, honestly, it works just fine. So this is what happens when a group of people, maybe some engineers, I used to be a software engineer, so it's fun for me to poke fun at engineers. This is what happens when we get our hands on an unclear problem and we bring solutions to market. And maybe this is trying to solve multiple problems, or maybe if this resonates with anyone that's joined today, there was a problem, but it wasn't really that important to be solved. So we just started adding shit on top and just making it more better with more features. And all of a sudden we have this Frankenstein product that nobody knows how to use or what it's for. So that is a call for problem framing. And what we're going to do today is teach you a really compact form of problem framing, because as we've been iterating and learning about working in the problem space over the years, the way that we think about problem framing typically takes 2 or 3 half days to get through. But sometimes you just need to get the group aligned in a really short order. And so that's what we're going to teach you, one activity that we use for doing alignment like that. Yeah, the thumbs up button, because you were listening when I explained what the reactions were in Butter. But if not, that's okay. No harm, no foul. I actually just want to check in. How many folks do we have here today?
25.
Okay, cool. We got a good turnout. Awesome. So what we're going to do first is we're going to play a quick game. So if you joined at the start, you may have heard Taylor mention that you can grab a little piece of paper and a Sharpie or a felt tip pen or a pen or whatever you have nearby.
Or a pencil, also fun.
Or a pencil. And I would love you, if you're not in the States, this is what our recycling bins look like. They're often blue. They have this little 3.3-sided arrow that goes around in a triangle. This is what our recycling bins look like. And I would love you to design a better recycling bin in 2 minutes or so. Just sketch one up. If you also want to, Miro has its draw tool, so you can also use that. Otherwise, just sketch a quick version of it. And if you need help uploading your sketch, the easiest thing to do is take a picture of it, email it to yourself, take that JPEG or PNG and just drag it to the Miro board.
Let's go. Let's start sketching.
I'm so disappointed I missed your corny joke so that I couldn't do the...
That's why I put it in the chat so you wouldn't boo me.
Oh, man. Okay. So you are designing a better recycling bin right now in 2 minutes. Totally fair.
We've got some dividers. Looks like this one has a lid and maybe either wheels or a pedal, maybe some hinges. All right, time is up. Upload your sketches, put them in the file. I'm gonna give people just a second to finish what they're doing because I need to reset the integration. So get to a stopping point. Okay.
Love it. Wow. This one that they drew was like all Miro stuff. Good for
Yeah,
you.
awesome.
Hey, by the way, if you want to not be like a visiting maker or drafter or something like that, you can click up on your name and you should be able to add your name in there. Change it from visiting to just your name.
Cool.
Not super important. Okay, let's see. Taylor, what do we got off to the left over here? I'm going to drag this thing over here.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a big old image coming in.
Big upload happening. That one looks like a pour over coffee filter.
It does. There must be some, I think there's some magic going on in this one where it like automatically filters and...
Yeah. A giant pour over coffee filter.
Too? It looks like there's dimensions to it as well. Like I see 4.5 down here. Whose is this? Is this Kevin's or
it
you
says
just
Adam? It says Adam, why don't you come off mute and tell us about this one?
You know, it just has a large cylindrical opening so I can toss stuff in it from across the room.
Nice. Little recycling basketball. I love it.
You've gamified it. Nice. Okay. What can I'd love to hear what the smiley face is all about. This is a new recycling bin? Whose was that?
Hello. Sorry, it's from me because I have a very noisy background. After I think after we recycle, everyone gets a smiling face. So it's on purpose.
Also gamifying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Not many people like to recycle, or at least will spend the time. I'm going to drag some of these other sketches over here. Just make them a little bit smaller.
Looks like dividing things is definitely a theme.
Yep. Okay.
Alan, yours is so neat.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Never have I ever sketched something that neat. So are those wheels or hinges? Tell us about yours.
Yeah. So yeah, I just used the Miro sketchboard. It's an outdoor bin. So it's think of a big garbage can, except this one is for recycling only, and it can it's got wheels on it, so you can wheel it from your house to the curb to be picked up by the recycling truck if they're using robotics or something.
Wait, I have to get, let me see if I can get this one in here. Yes. This one was in the chat.
Yeah, George's.
Uh-huh.
It's a fun one.
George, can you please explain? I don't know where the heck.
Yeah. So yeah, I had that split kind of side by side thing going. But one of the things that's been coming up, and this is for myself as well, but even on Nextdoor, one of my neighbors had posted that she was talking to the recycle gentleman who was picking up the cardboard, and how difficult it is to the boxes and the way the truck sorts them. It's in one truck, and this thing is that you have to cut the pieces of cardboard into 24 inches, or like you have to cut it down. And the thing of it is I cut myself really bad with a razor one time, and I went on a search on Amazon, found a knife that worked for that, but it's still just a pain to do that. So I would love for there to be some kind of shredder on the trash can, some way of just slicing it down.
I love how playful your shredder is too.
Yeah.
Playfulness is a theme for this group, huh?
Nice work. And there's one more coming in, and then we're going to do a quick check-in on what we just did here. So one sec. I think this one's from Rita. She put her name on it.
Nice.
Rita's also got some teeth in here or something. What does it say? Actually, she has a whole thing. There's a cap, there's a package, lock circle, hand to open it and put out.
Yeah, I was given a task to design a bead. So that design was the best I ever had. So it just takes out all the annoying things that might happen. For example, you don't need to open the cap with your hands because you have a handle. You can do it with your feet. Also, you must have a cap because this one is for organic waste and mixed waste as well. Also, it has a circle which you can up and down to kind of to put your bean package inside and stick it in like without any need to kind of be too creative and kind of try to hide the edges. So yeah, I was thinking
Well done.
this feature is one of the most important.
Love it. As an avid composter, I agree with the need for a lid on your organic waste because it gets real stinky real quickly.
Well, wow. These are amazing. And this sketch and just how well it was, I wish I could sketch that quickly that well. This little one down here, I think it was by Laura. I saw her name down by it, but with the paper and the batteries and all that stuff. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. And yeah, feel free to keep adding them in here. It's fun show and tell for us to come back to. Okay. So I want to ask you a question. What was challenging about me asking you, aside from like only giving you 2 minutes, what was challenging about me asking you to design a new recycling bin? Grab a pink Post-it in section 3 and tell me what's coming up for you. So I'm going to bring us down to section 4. Grab everybody here. And I just want to kind of like set the stage for what we're about to do and why problem framing, what are we talking about here? So just to bring us in, as we've been exploring, where we kicked off from is that the small, like we were saying, gets built and created when the problem is unclear, just like some of the recycling bins that we saw above. As cute and friendly as they were, it felt unfair to be asking you to solve that without a really clear articulated problem. Who is it for? What are they currently doing to solve those problems? So lots of good data, lots of good research would have been much more helpful so that we don't build smalts. And, you know, like, I think the problem here is, this is a quote that I stole from, holy crap.
Marty Kagan.
No.
No?
Oh my God, what's his name? Paul McCready. Yes. Okay. Aeronautical engineer. And it's too long of a story to tell right now, but he had this famous quote where he said, the problem is we don't understand the problem. And easier said than done. We say things like, let's fall in love with the problem and not the solution. But the challenge to that is that we've had, honestly, millions of years of practice of just seeing a problem out in the wild, or a problem that our manager or manager's manager brings to us, and we jump straight into solution mode. It's also celebrated, and that's how we get rewarded. You know, a lot of our engineering friends that may be here today or out on the fringes, they're rewarded for the code that they ship, not for the great ideas that they bring to the table, and certainly not for the ideas that they say no to. So practicing understanding the real problem and pushing back on the things that are unclear is not really part of our acumen today. And so let's talk about what that looks like. So where we think we start, where we all talk about and celebrate the right place, is to start with the market and listen for the insights, listen for the feedback, the things that they're needing solutions to that we're not currently solving. But what tends to happen in honesty is that a salesperson or an engineer or a marketer gets at the start of it, and all of a sudden it goes from an external conversation and solving for problems in the market to things that we've massaged or iterated in our own minds. And then that's where we start to shift from customer problems to company problems. So we say, okay, there's an exciting customer thing in here, and ooh, that would help us to get into this new market segment, or it would help us to drive new revenue to this new product that we're thinking about, and so on. So we quickly think about how the company can stand to benefit from it. And we lose sight, not that there's anything wrong, the company needs to have impact for themselves, but we start to quickly lose sight of what's important to the customer. Then we bring in our team of problem solvers who need to honestly spend more time as magicians than problem solvers, because they're also confused right at the outset because of this stuff that's happened, all this murkiness, all these handoffs, all this iteration of what the core customer problem is. It leads to confusion. And then a lot of the time we kid ourselves to believe that if we spend 6 months, a year, and we build like a light MVP, we can start the learning process, and then we can pivot and iterate our way out of that. But it's super, super challenging. Even after a day or so, people get emotionally attached to their ideas. And then you start talking about things like technical debt, and we've spent so much time on it. Let's just get it to market. And then, of course, when we ship those things and we start the learning process, if the market is totally confused by what we've shipped, now the engagement's low, all of our metrics are sort of off the charts in a bad way, and we have to maybe start all over again. And man, what if we had just started from a better place by really understanding what problem we were trying to solve? And one of the questions that we hear a lot is, it took all of my energy and skill to get people to do a one-day brainstorm or one-day co-creation workshop or a design sprint. I can't ask them for more time in the problem space, but maybe you can. So what we're gonna teach you today is a very light and quick, but empowering problem framing tool from our toolkit called abstraction laddering. So this is what an abstraction laddering looks like. So let's use a different problem statement to start. Instead of design a better recycling bin, what if the prompt was to design a better can opener? And just in case anyone's lost, this is where I'm at. So what if it was to design a better can opener? So if we just skipped and jumped into solution mode like we did up above with the recycling bin, so absence of any problem framing or alignment or understanding, then we might make it pink. We might add a bow to it, just a little bit more appealing, and maybe it will sell a few more widgets, and that's great. But for the people that are in the trenches doing these things, I'm guessing that a new pink can opener is not really what's keeping them. It's not really making them proud of the work that they're doing. It's probably not going to get the impact in the market and the ROI that we were hoping it would get. So instead of dropping into the how, right? Instead of going from design a better can opener, how, and jump right into solution, if we go up the ladder and abstract up by asking, why is this important? So design a better can opener, why? What are we trying to do? We're trying to get soup out of a can, perhaps. That's one scenario. Trying to get soup out of a can. Okay, now we're up here. So now when I come back down into the how, we might try to make it more convenient by adding the pull top, right? And that is where, if you think about innovation, or if you think about totally new ideas, sometimes innovation is incremental, totally fine. Sometimes it requires us to go up a level and really understand, why are we doing this? Why is it important, and for whom, so that we can come up with totally new ideas. So we're going to give you a chance to practice the abstraction ladder, and we'll get you into your groups in a second. This is what it looks like. Down below, we have a whole bunch of pods that you're going to work in. You're going to work in teams of about 3, 4, 5 people or so. So what you're going to do is you're going to start, and we're going to give you about 10 to 15 minutes or so. And you're going to start by thinking about the original problem statement. Design a better recycling bin. And instead of jumping into the how, which is what I tricked you into doing before, you're going to go up and ask why. So why is this important? And each person can grab a pink sticky, and you can, a good statement starter is in order to. So why is it important to design a better recycling bin? In order to. And each person in the group can answer a why. And then you'll quickly do a vote based on nothing other than what you're all feeling. Do a vote on what you think is the best why, and then you'll use that one to drive your how. So you'll take this new problem, this new level, this new abstracted problem, and you'll think about how you can solve it. And the statement starter is we could. So 10 minutes to do all of that, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. 10 to 15 minutes. We'll check in and see how you're all doing on time.
All right, ready?
Yeah, if you get stuck or if you don't get into your room, we'll help funnel you into your pod.
Yep. And if you need help when you're in your pod, use the queue, raise your hand, and either Jay or I will come help you out. All right, let's go.
See you soon. Looks like we got some good activity in the 5 pods that you're all in. Okay, I want to talk about it for a few minutes, and then we're going to wrap up. We have some gifts for y'all, and then we'll be out of here at the top of the hour. So I'm going to move us up to section 6. By the way, if anyone caught on, we've been moving around this clockwork circle, which is the hero's journey. So what I'd like to know from you in this first box to the left is, what did you notice? What was different from this activity, especially in contrast to designing the better recycling bin the first time around? What did you notice? What was different? I love it, Keely celebrating their pod.
Yeah. Let's see. Define problem before solution. Love that. Yeah, easier to get to the root of the problem.
Yeah, you know, I appreciate that you said that. And I know that this is a very simple problem, perhaps, or, very consumery, very, something that a lot of us or enough of us have experience to talk about and sort of tackle. But it's really like, what always surprises me is like such a simple activity can really kind of like shake things up and get people talking about what actually matters. And yes, this will get much harder in the work that we do day in and day out for really complex and really wicked problems that we work on, but man, it's better than jumping in solution mode.
Yeah. I want to talk about this one. Who had folks arrive at similar ideas with different language and reasoning? Jay and I noticed that together all the time, working together. Who had that one?
That was me, Adam.
Adam again. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just interesting to see that when we all arrived at the same problem area, that we would sort of have our own ways of getting to a place, each of which were valid and valuable. And we were sort of describing the same things, but maybe not even realizing that initially. Mm-hmm. So there was like, it kind of spoke to the power of collaboration as sort of like a natural process once you just start doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. More structured. So simple, right? A buddy of mine, Daniel Stillman, when I met him, he introduced himself as a conversation designer. And I kind of wanted to I think I kind of wanted to hit him because I was like, what is this nonsense conversation designer? But honestly, that's the crux of what's missing from most of the collaboration, is somebody owning the conversation and shaping it nicely so that we talk about the things that we should in an efficient way and decide on things that are important to move forward with. So when I think of structure, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
What else is in here?
Get to root of barriers to progress. That's well put.
Whose was that? What does that mean?
Yeah, that was me, Kevin. So a lot of it, barriers to progress, is mainly talking about mindset of individuals to kind of overcome, like when we're talking recycling, right? So at least here in the States, a lot of it's like, well, it's too much of a hassle. How do we progress from that mindset to make it easier to start addressing progress towards better recycling habits?
Yeah. So, quick little story. I actually ran a sprint for some major beverage companies a couple years ago with a friend of mine, Kai Haley. And it was to improve the recycling ecosystem, which is a huge topic. And we spent a lot of time thinking about the emotion and all of the biases against recycling. It has very little to do with like the bin or the program or incentives or anything. A lot of the time it's just because people just don't feel like doing it, or they don't care, or they don't know why it's important, or if they're making a difference. So there's a lot of psychosomatic data behind it.
Yeah. I love something that Adam shared in the chat. Reminds me that design can and should be a fun, joyful process. That's so, like, it speaks to my soul, Adam. I feel like having fun at work is just something that I'm just very interested in figuring out how to do. And design totally can feel joyful.
Yeah, great call out. That reminds me of the book called Play. I forget who wrote it, but I read that a few years back. And, it's also a reason. So in the work that we do, there is what I notice is when I'm feeling most uncomfortable, I'll pull out all of the icebreakers and warm-ups and eye-openers because I'll feel like I'm wasting people's times. And over the years, I've learned how important that work is. And where it becomes where people become open to it is when you make the connection for them. So it doesn't feel like they're wasting their time. We just played a silly game. Games sometimes just for fun, totally relevant, and offsite, a team building, perfect. When you're deep in the work and doing really complex stuff, and you've got people who are busy, senior leaders in the company, making that connection, we're going to do this thing so that we're able to do this next thing really at a much better and deeper level. That helps people sort of like let go of their fear of like losing time on things that are unimportant.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you called that out, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Taylor, we just did what we said we weren't going to do while everyone was hard at work, is like getting hung up on all of these important stickies. And we didn't even leave time for what challenges might still exist.
It's their fault. They have good thoughts.
Yeah, it's your fault. So your fault. If you, as I'm wrapping us up, and then we're going to have Anna just kind of close us out for a sec. If there are challenges that you're thinking about, why is this still going to be hard? What didn't we solve? I certainly didn't give you a full arrangement of activities and how to do this thing and the time that's spent. But what challenges might still exist? What's still going to be hard? If you want to leave some post-its in there, when we do the recap, if there's anything that really stands out, we'll call it out. So that's down here. You know what? I'll just give people a minute. We've got a minute.
Okay.
Feels careless to jump into the closeout, especially with this group and all the good ideas. Government regulations. Yes. Okay.
The best solutions aren't always the cheapest to implement or possible. Yeah. Cheapest and best are not usually in the same sentence.
When Hippo says, I know what customer wants, so highest paid person in the room comes, this doesn't happen a lot, does it? Yes. So like, this is why sometimes speed of an activity and fun of an activity is a great design criteria, because then you can get that person to join you for 15 to 20 minutes and have them, like, cool. Yes. Actually, we actually want to hear your ideas. Would you actually join us? A group of us, we're going to spend a couple hours today, kind of like building off some of the things that we think are important to you before we spend all that time, all of us collectively, trigger for them, like money being thrown out the window. Would you join us for 20 minutes? We're doing this quick alignment activity, right? So like speed in these conversations can be a game changer.
Yeah. I'm seeing thoughts around fabrication, production, technology, putting it into life. Totally. That's like bringing engineering. If you're working on a digital product, bringing engineering into the room can help you spot some of those things in advance and solve for them at the highest level so that everybody already is in alignment.
Yeah. All right. Cool. We're going to get you out of here on time. Thank you for all these great ideas. We're going to have a recap coming in. Let me just grab you up here. So as you're leaving, if you have to jump at the top of the hour, totally fine. This board will be available. We'll send a link to it. I think Anna and the Miro team will send a recap with some of these links. So in here, there's a few things for you. If you like this activity and you want to try it out for yourself, you can click the abstraction ladder template. That'll take you to the Miroverse, where if you know what the Miroverse is, you can grab a copy of this activity and try it out with you and your team. If you want to go further with problem framing, we have a problem framing toolkit. It's not free, but we gave you a 20% discount to it. It's $495 US, so with 20% off. That will take you through our entire problem framing toolkit, which includes lots of other activities. And then for anyone that is looking to get more clarity and focus on what it takes to continually ship really winning products that solve important, complex problems, we do these complimentary sessions for a certain group of folks. You all, I'm sure, will qualify, but these are called our winning product blueprint. They're 45-minute strategic one-on-one conversations with Taylor or I, where we'll help you kind of break through those challenges and help you get some better ideas out to market. So you can sign up for one of those as well. And then our friends at Miro left a resource for you down here to join the community forum. And with that, at the very top of the hour, and I just want to turn it back over to you to just close us out.
Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you so much, Taylor. I just want to reiterate that we're sending a recording of this session and the recap to everyone who registered for the event. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and of course, check out Miroverse. And if you have your templates on your own that you love using in Miro, please submit this template. We'll be super happy to see them. Thank you all. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.